Well, thanks for streaming with us. A newly approved drug is bringing hope to some Americans living with Alzheimer's. Kisunla is just the second drug now available to U.S. patients to help improve symptoms in the early stages of the disease. But doctors are cautioning that it's not a cure and that there are risks associated with this medicine. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze joins me now, along with Dr. Leah Krolla, a neurologist with Maimonides Hospital in New York City. Elizabeth, first, thanks both for joining us. And how does Kisunla work? What have you been reporting on, and potential side effects that were mentioned?
Well, you know, Terry, this is an important step because we're talking about nearly 7 million Americans who are living with Alzheimer's right now. The way that this drug works, it's made by Eli Lilly. This is what it has shown in late-stage clinical trials is that it slows down memory decline. That's a significant difference for people who are in the early stages of this disease. It also has shown to slow the progression of Alzheimer's. This drug's going to cost $32,000 per year, but that's before insurance and discounts. And the drug maker does say it is expected to be covered by Medicare. But as you point out, always are some risks to these kinds of things. One of the risks that we've seen is the potentially dangerous side effect of brain bleeding. Doctors say that this is something that they see as an incremental step, but it is important for so many of those people. The way it's administered, Terry, is a monthly IV infusion. But as you point out, not a cure, cannot reverse Alzheimer's, but is a significant step for a lot of those people living with the disease.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And now let's go to our doctor, Dr. Kroll. Forgive me for mispronouncing your name. My mom had Alzheimer's, so I'm quite aware of the progress of this disease. As somebody who treats patients with Alzheimer's, what do you make of this?
Thanks for having me, Terry. You know, I do think that while this isn't a cure, it is a big deal. When we talk about slowing the progression of disease, that translates into buying patients more time before they lose their independence. And so while that is not as big a deal as reversing cognitive impairment altogether, it certainly is meaningful and a very good reason to feel hopeful moving forward.
No question. It's even just a few months, you know, makes the difference between knowing a grandchild and not knowing a grandchild, or all those different kinds of things. And Elizabeth, if I could go back to you on how is this drug different from the first Alzheimer's drug that was on the market?
Right, so this is the second drug available to U.S. patients in the early stages of Alzheimer's. One of the big differences, Terry, is that this is going to be a monthly IV infusion. So unlike Leqembi, which is the other drug on the market, this is once a month. The competitor is every 2 weeks. But the cost of this new drug from Eli Lilly is more expensive. Again, hopefully covered by a lot of people's insurance, but just the out-of-pocket costs are before you take into account insurance and discounts. One thing to think about that the Eli Lilly is pointing to is the fact that this treatment might be able to be stopped at some point, so you end up maybe having to pay less if you're able to stop it as you're going on with the treatment. You know, I think the bottom line here that we're hearing from the company and from the FDA about this, they see this as an important step because when you look at the number of people with Alzheimer's, and as you point out, Terry, this is personal for so many families, the number of patients with Alzheimer's in the U.S. is expected to double over the next 3 decades. So any kind of step that can help slow that progression is seen as an advance for a lot of those families.
Absolutely, it is good news. And as Dr. Kroll pointed out, even a brief period of time before the darkness fully descends on someone can be very meaningful to them and to their families and friends. So we thank both of you, Elizabeth Schulze and Dr. Leah Kroll, for bringing us that news. Appreciate it.